So I wanted to post a live video, guys, because I thought of something today in observing the behavior of the people around me in the courtroom. Okay? It's really incredibly, like, I don't know, creates awareness and the lack of empathy that's going on in the family courts today. Like, the greatest gift you can have is compassion and consideration for another human being. Like, it's like the doctor that no longer cares about sick people, or the nurse that treats every patient like they're on an assembly line. They've lost that element of human compassion and consideration. So I went to the preliminary hearing for my termination of my parental rights. That is without just cause, no evidence to support it, and no subject matter jurisdiction. And because I had gone through this with my older 3 children, I was looked at like I was a fool, because I had no reaction in the first round of parental rights termination, blah, 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 in Lauderdale County. I fell into clinical depression. They took away my kids. I was an innocent woman. I had done nothing wrong. My children were my life. I was married at 18. I had my first baby at 19. Guys, I had no other life besides my children. For the first 12 adult years of my life, that's the only thing I did besides my little part-time trainer job. Like, I revolved around them. They became my world. I sacrificed all of my 20s to be a mother at a young age because I was the queen of failed birth control. By age 23, I had 3 children. Now, I truly believe that men get women pregnant because she's someone that's out of his league and he wants to hold on to her. So I do believe there was a little bit of sabotage going on there. But you know what? Life happens, and I'm very adaptable. So yeah, my children were my whole life, and you took the air out of my lungs and you expected me to fight back? So today when I went into court, they talked real slow and careful. They were very cautious. We're not saying you're not smart, but to terminate parental rights means you can't be a mother to your child. And I just looked at them. No emotion. No reaction. But it's completely insane to me that these courts hold the power, authority, and ability to control families' lives. Get off my page asking me about wearing a bikini when I'm driving. No, I do wear a bikini when I cut grass, though. Like, I had a friend call me and tell me he almost wrecked his truck. But anyways, these people have all this power and ability to make an impact in the world and to be good, decent human beings and protect families, and they use it to destroy them, guys. So the epidemic of chaos and destruction of the mental health of our youth today is, in my opinion, directly correlated to the corruption in the family court system. We're robbing children of healthy, happy relationships with healthy, happy parents so that attorneys can line their pockets and take trips to Fiji or wherever else they want to go. So our children are being trafficked and used as a money making opportunity for attorneys, and it's become so corrupt that all an abusive parent has to do is be wealthy and throw enough money in their attorney's pocket to beat down emotionally, psychologically, and financially the opposing parent. So then, they drag it on, they torture you, they criticize you, they attack your character. I spoke with an attorney, a very wise man, And I know a lot of attorneys, guys. I've been through this a long time. I've been in every type of court setting you can possibly imagine under the sun, okay? And I've represented myself. I've had excellent attorneys. I've had shitty attorneys. I've been through quite a bit. I've had to learn and evolve and adapt through all of this, okay? But a very wise attorney said to me, the thing about attorneys is criminal attorneys are hired to make a bad guy look good. Family law attorneys are hired to make a good guy look bad. That's what it's all about. It's a manipulation tactic. They look at it like a game of chess, and these are our lives. These are our children. This is the rest of our life. They hold it, so much power over it, and they just abuse it. And so what are we going to do about it? That's the question. What are we going to do about it as alienated parents? If you're not an alienated parent, get off my page. If you're not a supporter of alienated parents, get off my page. If you're not just a fan of mine and here to show love and support, get off my page. Okay, get off my channel. Don't do it. I'm not here to accommodate stupidity. This is a real movement going on in our country today. Okay? This is really happening, guys. Families are being destroyed. Innocent parents all across our entire country are losing their children to fraud so that attorneys and judges can make a lot of money. Keep in mind, judges are just attorneys that got a raise. Okay? And I'm not going to ever say every attorney is corrupt, every judge is corrupt. I understand that a lot of other alienated parents feel that way, but I don't. I've met some very incredible and informative judges and attorneys along the way in my battle with nonstop vexatious litigation since 2003 when I started trying to divorce my first husband. Like, it's just been that long that I've had to put up with this. Let me see what some of these comments. Hi, how are you? What even are those? I don't know what you're talking about. What are those? Pebble. But yeah, guys, so I'm a social activist. And the thing about parental alienation that I want everybody to know and understand is that it is a challenge. It's the challenge of a lifetime. It's one of the hardest things people will ever have to endure or face. And I have friends on my Facebook page that have been like, you know what? I know you don't know this about me because I've never told anyone, but I'm an alienated parent too. I had my ex do that to me too. Women. Amazing women, respectable women with good jobs and good credibility, and they've gone on to have other children and have other happy moments in their lives, but there's a sense of loss and sadness and suffering in the hearts of a parent that's affected by parental alienation. Stop judging these people. Stop thinking that because a parent loses a kid that they're some kind of crackhead, dopehead. Yo, I work in law enforcement. I'm not a bad person. I've never done anything wrong. I'm not a criminal. I don't have any kind of significant, not the kind of issues that would lead to my child not being allowed to see or talk to me. That's insane. It's a way to make money. It is how courts are making money. They are robbing families of their 14th Amendment civil right to parent their own children for profit. It's become an absolute crisis. There's a movement going on. We are uniting. You're going to start seeing more parental rights activists popping up on every platform, guys. I blew up on TikTok within a month. Like, I just had so many people that were reaching out to me, and it's amazing because there's so many people that have lived for years in shame and what's been done to our constitutional rights, the right to our Fifth Amendment right, our 14th Amendment right. We have a right to due process. We have our 14th Amendment right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our Sixth Amendment right to an attorney. I mean, there's a lot going on in these courts, and they just want to screw us and tell us to sit back and take it, and or run out of money, and or sit back and shut up. Let us do what we want to make a buck. And we're supposed to just accept the reality that our children will forever be emotionally and psychologically altered in a negative way, and have to go through an entire healing process to heal their mentality, excuse me, heal their emotional well-being. Because when you rob a child of one healthy, happy parent, and you put them with an abusive, manipulative, narcissistic parent, then you steal their joy, you steal their innocence, you steal their purity, you ruin their mental well-being. Okay? It's devastating. You know, I wish a fate worse than death on anyone that's ever destroyed a child's peace. And if you're doing it for money, you're even more twisted. That's twisted. That's why so many parents are out here saying that all attorneys and judges are corrupt, because of what has been going on in these family courts. Guys, it's out of control. It's on a new level. People are terrified. People are killing themselves. People are devastated beyond their ability to cope because their children are taken from them. It's too much for some people to bear. It's too challenging for some people to get up out of bed every day and cope with their life, go to work, make a buck, and handle all of their financial and adult responsibilities and be an alienated parent. Some days, the only thing a parent can do who's been robbed of their time with their children unjustly is get up out of bed and function. That's called clinical depression, guys. And it's so sad. It's the reason why I've decided to start documenting and recording and creating a vlog for all of you to see what's going on in my story. What happened back in 2016, I was dragged through, excuse me guys, sorry I dropped you. I was dragged through the courts in 2016, and it led to the termination of my parental rights of my oldest 3 children. And I fell into depression. All I had was my baby, my youngest child, and she needed me to be strong for her, and it took every ounce of my energy to take care of her because she had a different dad. And I was just going through the motions of devastation and sadness, right? Like, their attorneys, the attorneys of my children's dad, like Jim Stansel, for instance, out of the blue, he shows up on my front door. That was the attorney that helped my first husband, Chip Wicker, out of Florence, Alabama, torture me with abusive process, vexatious litigation, and interference with custody. I had full custody of my children, and he helped my first husband kidnap my children and file nonsense, okay? And he's passed away since. He had a heart attack. So, yeah. Any of the corrupt old-timer attorneys out there that are destroying children's lives, I wish a heart attack on you too, okay? I hope that happens to you too. That's your karma. Hope you just croak over one day. But anyways, Jim Stansel, while he was still living, breathing, shows up at my door, at my home that I had relocated to in Athens, Alabama. And Jim Stansel hands me a big, thick envelope. And inside was my entire case file. And I had no idea what all these things meant. I didn't know what all these filings were. I hadn't even read the majority of them. I had no idea. And that was the day that I began studying Alabama case law. That was April of, I want to say 2012. Yeah. And I started researching, and I started learning, guys. And at this point, I might have to go get a fucking law degree to be taken seriously in the state of Alabama. But I promised you, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I'm slow, I'm strategic, and I'm so much smarter than they give me credit for. So yeah, I really wanted to create this live because they were so condescending today and dismissive and spoke to me like I was an uninformed 5-year-old child, as if I had no clue whatsoever what was going on around me. So I went to the clerk's office, and the guardian ad litem escorted me to the clerk's office. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to walk down a hallway. I just let him. And the judge was like, we're not saying you're not smart, but today's hearing is to terminate your parental rights. We're setting a trial date. Yeah. So Eric Summerford has successfully defamed my character to the point where people think that I'm some kind of idiot or mental case. It's absolutely absurd to me, guys. These things are happening. People don't need proof to destroy your character. They just need a law degree. That's what they need. If they want to destroy your life and they want to destroy your character and they have a law degree, chances are they're going to have a pretty good shot at it. Yeah, it's sick. It's sad. And, you know, the level of narcissism that comes from these types of positions of power is off the charts. What did Henry David Thoreau state? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think more of us should go, and the ones that are smart enough and capable of the dedication and time, go and get law degrees and become civil rights attorneys. Imagine, get licensed in multiple states. Imagine what they would do if more alienated parents leveled up to that level. Like, there are so many things we can do to stay strong, guys. There are so many ways we can fight back. And please, I beg you, if you're an alienated parent, if you know an alienated parent, if you've been dragged into the court relentlessly for vexatious litigation, or you're going through it right now and you just don't know what to do, build a support system, connect with other parents like you, talk to people that have been there, go to a counselor, not because you're mentally broken, but because you want to process these emotions. Like, my counselor, my therapist, was a sweet lady, a private counselor, who worked out of a church here in Madison, and we met twice a month. And it was for the purpose of just having someone to talk to while I processed those emotions. And after 2 years, I had accomplished so much in healing my mental health because I battled with depression. It would be a normal, natural, human, healthy response to feel sad about losing my kids. That's what she taught me. You know, it's okay to not be okay. What's not okay is to let those feelings run your life, control every move you make, and determine your actions. You have to rise above it because there's hardship in all of our lives, guys. There's hardship. The stigma that's attached to parents that are alienated is that they did some horrific act, like hurt their children, violate the law, break the law, refuse to maintain their composure, they're a mental health patient, they're a drug addict. There's so many false beliefs about alienated parents that alienated parents don't want to talk about the shame that goes with being kept from your children, because people are automatically going to judge you and think you're a bad person. It used to be you couldn't take custody from children, or you couldn't take the custody of children from the mother unless she was like really bad. Guys, the majority of states switched over to the best interest principles, which means that you just have to meet the standard of best interest. So dads out here, yes, historically, for many years, dads did not get equal parenting time. And that was just as unjust as the courts have become now. But now there's no gender-specific person becoming alienated from their children. It's moms, it's dads, it's grandparents, it's whole families. This stuff is going on so frequently that people have had to complain on judges repeatedly, stack evidence against judges repeatedly, stack evidence against attorneys repeatedly, just to be taken seriously. They're looking at the appeals docket for these judges that have taken away the parental rights of children to see if it's maliciously happening. I can't even count how many different states in the United States today are dealing with this. I thought it was a problem with the good old boy system in Alabama. No, guys, it's happening everywhere. And it's not just the dads anymore fighting for equal parenting time. The moms are judged more harshly in society because if a mom loses custody, she's a real basket case, right? No. Maybe she didn't have an extra $300,000 to throw at a custody case. That's a house, y'all. That's the cost of a house. Maybe she was emotionally compromised by the devastation of illegal things happening to her at the hands of corrupt guardian ad litems like Johnny Lynn Franks. That woman's absolutely nuts. She has no good reputation whatsoever. And she's a drunk, from what I heard. I didn't say that. I don't know her. That's just what I heard. There's things about these people that are destroying the lives of innocent children for profit. What do they have to show for it? It's like I look at that woman, Johnny Lynn Franks was the guardian ad litem that helped my first husband commit interference of custody and take my children away from me unlawfully in Lauderdale County. Okay, guys? Johnny Lynn Franks was a guardian ad litem that helped assist 6 counties all across North America to terminate the parental rights of innocent mothers and fathers with the help of Angel Geiske. Angel Geiske, Google her. She's a fraudulent counselor out of Tennessee. Turning Leaf, I believe, was the name of the counseling agency, and she had no credentials whatsoever. She was not a counselor with good credibility or character at all. And Johnny Lynn Franks and Angel Geiske destroyed families and ripped children from loving, happy parents and gave them to abusive parents with the recommendation of Angel Geiske, who was a fraudulent counselor. They did all this for profit. Where's your Ferrari? Where's your house on a hill? Where's your mansion? Like Johnny Lynn Franks, you destroyed hundreds of thousands of children's lives, and what have you got to show for it? A drinking problem? And no good credibility, and everyone in the whole community and 3 communities away from you in every direction think you're a deplorable human being with no respect? None whatsoever. That's what she got out of it. Like, nothing. Like, no respect. No consideration. People fear her. I'm not afraid of her. People fear her. I'll tell you what, that woman, the last time I saw her was in a parking lot outside of the Colbert County Courthouse, and she tried to hit me with her car. How classy is that? She tried to hit me with her car in Colbert County. Yeah, she just swerved right into me. I was parked in the parking lot. I'd just taken a video of her with my ex-husband and my oldest child chatting in the parking lot. That's a whole other story for another day. But she tried to hit me with her car. That's how classy this woman is. You know, and here's the thing about fraud, guys. Here's the thing about the truth. Okay? It's the hardest pill to swallow. People will eat up a lie like it's ice cream, man. Give me another bite. But the truth is hard. Especially if you're a liar. Especially if you're someone with no good credibility and no good character. There are parents out here fighting for their parental rights that have done nothing wrong, that have committed no crime, and that absolutely do not deserve to have their children taken from them. That's the truth. Too many people out here don't even know what the 14th Amendment grants you as your constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Read Section 2. So guys, I just want to encourage if you're either the supporter, the spouse, of an alienated parent, if you're an alienated parent on your journey to getting your children back, if you're an alienated parent dealing with the aftermath of trying to build a new life, a happy life without your children in it, even though it seems impossible to do, if you fall into any of those categories, if you're fighting the battle now, if you fought the battle and lost, if you fought the battle and won and were reunited, and you're here on this page because you want to get information and you want to connect with us, guys, I'm creating a podcast to connect more alienated parents with each other and to help our children have the real story. Okay, so what I've done, I'm building an audience on this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get more people to subscribe because I want to get my views up. I want to get my audience up. And then I'm going to start either Zoom calling or meeting with directly other alienated parents, and I'm going to be podcasting so that we can tell our story on a public platform for all to see that is forever on the internet. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give alienated parents a voice. Now, if you're an alienated parent and you're living in devastation and sadness and shame, and you're dealing with just coping with the mental health element that comes along from that, guys, that's okay. I will tell your story. You can type it up. You can cry your way through it. You don't have to tell it. You're only truly healed when you can tell your story without bursting into tears. Because there was a time for many years when I couldn't even speak about the fact that my children were taken from me without bursting into tears. Okay? It was the most devastating thing I've ever had to live through in my life. I don't think anything will ever top it. So if you're an alienated parent and you're in that stage of the grief process where you cannot speak up because you're too devastated, I want you to know that I will happily tell your story. You can type it up. You can email it to me. Alabama Parental Rights at gmail.com is my email. I am collecting stories. I am building an audience on this YouTube channel. I am praying for the families affected every day by parental alienation. And I'm gathering information, guys. How can we fight back against the systems in place that are robbing us of our parental rights to our children? How can we fight back? I will continue to submit information and helpful hints and tools and tactics on this page to help you fight. If you're a pro se litigant, if you have an attorney and they're screwing you over, what to do about it. If there's a judge on the case that's extremely biased, how we can respond to that, how to deal with the everyday emotional crisis of not being able to see or talk to your children. There's a lot of fundamental things that go along with being an alienated parent, and there's a lot of tools that we can use out there to fight back, to fight for our best life. You know, ways to help. Like, there's a YouTube channel that's completely dedicated to spreading the story of an alienated child who reunited with her father after 20 years. She's a lovely woman. Go to my community tab on this YouTube channel and look for the videos that I post, guys. For those of you that think that judges can't get in trouble and attorneys can't get in trouble, think again, because, you know, they get busted with enough corruption. Don't be afraid to tell on them. Even if you're the first one that tells, it'll give someone else the strength to report them. That's what we've got to do. We've got to start making these reports, making our voice heard by stating the facts, speaking the truth, and allowing people to understand that there are a lot of amazing men and women in our country who have been denied their right to parent their children, and they deserve respect, they deserve consideration, and they deserve justice. It's an unjust system. Family court fraud is happening more every day, every year, every minute, and it's destroying our children. Do y'all know why the military can't get the youth today to sign up? Because there's a mental health crisis. Yeah, in our society. after the last 2 decades of parental alienation has completely destroyed families left and right and robbed children of healthy, happy, loving parents. Now the aftermath is that in 2024, we have an entire generation of mentally compromised men and women who are fighting emotional battles and dealing with their psychological demons because they've been put through hell. And a lot of them don't even know that parental alienation that's happening and affecting almost every single family, because you know somebody that's affected by it. You are related to somebody that's been alienated from their kids or is an alienator keeping someone from their children. We all know somebody, guys. It's so common and reoccurring. We have to raise awareness. We have to fight back. We have to start speaking out, because if not, what's going to be the generation after this generation? What are we going to have? Is the whole world just going to collapse because of the inability to function in society today? Come on, y'all. Start loving people. Start caring about people. Start showing compassion and consideration to the alienated parents whose lives have been ripped apart. Because this is really hard. This is hard to do. We all face difficult things in our lives, but an alienated parent has to wake up every day, no matter what's going on around them, and keep living and breathing and going to work with the emotionally compromised mentality that the greatest gift in their entire life, the most rewarding joy that they've ever felt, has been robbed of them. They've been robbed of their parenting time with their babies. For what? To help attorneys and judges get wealthy? No. We need to put a stop to it, guys. If every single one of us has to level up enough to be our own pro se litigants so that our own attorney becomes ourselves, and then we're not screwed over by our attorney. So that if we have to walk into a courtroom for a preliminary hearing for termination of parental rights, and they treat you like a 5-year-old who has no clue whatsoever what's going on in the world, and talk down to you and condescend to you like you're a complete idiot. That's what happened to me today. We set the hearing or the trial date, and I was spoken to like I'm a complete idiot. And the idiot he didn't even look nice. He looks like a drug addict. That's the father of my child. He didn't even take the time to put on a nice set of slacks. He was wearing blue jeans. His hair was dirty. He looked disgusting, and I know because I stood less than 5 feet and mean mugged him like I was about to throw a punch. We were all told to go out in the hallway, so I just stood there less than 5 feet away from him and gave him a death stare. Like, you want to come at me, bro? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a small heart attack when I did that. But you know what, guys? Justice will be served. Karma does come around. And all I'm asking from all of you that are watching this right now, and I'm super pumped because it went from like 4 to like 44, is that you guys hit the subscribe button, follow my story, and watch the other stories of the other alienated parents that I'll be posting on my podcast or my Zoom videos that I'll be posting here, and gain a little clarity and understanding of what's really going on out there. Because what happens if one of your children grow up and becomes an alienated parent? And then what if you can't see and love your own grandchildren?